The 45 words of the First Amendment are more than 220 years old, but they're alive today on America's streets, on our campuses, and in our classrooms. The freedom to speak, publish, and protest lets us fight injustice without fear of punishment by the government. The First Amendment applies to all types of speech, even online and on social media, and it protects Americans of all ages. Without freedom of speech, press, and petition, the civil rights movement might never have won historic victories in Congress and in the courts. One of the most famous First Amendment cases of all times, New York Times versus Sullivan, was about the freedom to publish a newspaper ad challenging the arrest of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Students have fought for 50 years to win the right to free speech in schools. The Supreme Court has sometimes protected those rights, but the protection is incomplete. That's why more and more students are organizing campaigns to convince their states to pass laws that protect freedom of the press on campus. The First Amendment is being put to the test every day in the courts and in the streets. The government can regulate protests to keep order and protect safety, but cannot tell protesters what they can and can't say. Today, we're seeing a return to some of the same protest tactics that helped pass the Civil Rights Act and end segregation. The 2017 Women's March in Washington drew more than 3 times as many people than President Trump's inauguration. On International Women's Day, women boycotted work for a day of economic solidarity to stand up for equality and justice for women. Young people have always been leaders in protesting for social progress, and those protests are raising new conflicts and new struggles that test the limits of free speech. Across the country, students followed the lead of San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick and took a knee during the national anthem to protest police brutality. A young man's painting was stripped off the wall of the U.S. Capitol building because it dramatized scenes of police violence, a message that some viewers found offensive. The First Amendment protects these peaceful acts of protest, even if some people find them to be unpatriotic. In schools everywhere, students have shown their support for the Black Lives Matter movement by wearing the slogan on their t-shirts. At a public school, students have the legally protected right to wear political messages, even though their teachers do not when they're on the job. The Active Voice Project is teaching students, particularly young women, that they have the right to express themselves freely and without limitation. Women are underrepresented in executive levels in professional newsrooms. In high schools, young women make up most of the newsroom leadership, but they report receiving most of the censorship. The Active Voice helps uplift and magnify the beautiful young voices that should never go unheard.